All right, let's go. Welcome everyone to the Power Half Hour. Every single Wednesday, we talk with a top producer in their market, and today, none other than Mr. David Janis out of Boulder, Colorado, a realtor, a top agent, a superstar turned developer and builder. Welcome, Dave. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Sean. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And today we want to find out who is Dave Janis, right? You have an amazing story. You started out, what did you do before? You were a plumber?
That's a good question. So I started out, I was a Mercedes mechanic for, like 7 years, a master Mercedes mechanic. I loved cars and I still love cars. But I saw these guys in their 50s and 60s who I thought were ancient at the time, on their feet all day, turning wrenches. And I thought, that is not what I want to be in 30 years. So as soon as I could afford one, I bought a brand new car. And that's under warranty. I don't have to work on it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There you go. So a Mercedes car mechanic, and that was back in the day. So when did you start in real estate and how did you get into it?
So 2008, I started in real estate. I always wanted to get into construction, and my father-in-law was in real estate, and he suggested I give real estate sales a try. And so I gave it a try in Chicago, and it worked out for about 3 months. I was getting some traction, and the wife and I were getting ready to start a family, and we thought, if we're going to move, we better move now. Because once you build a business, you're stuck, whether it be Vancouver or Boulder. So we moved to Boulder in 2008 and started selling real estate.
Wow. Okay. So 3 months into selling real estate in Chicago, picked up and left and started a family and a real estate sales business all at the same time in Boulder, Colorado.
Yes.
Wow.
My wife didn't give me a choice because she quit her job. She got pregnant and then she quit her job.
So why Boulder?
Oh man. So we looked all over. We looked New Mexico. We looked California. We looked Seattle. We looked New York City. We came to visit Boulder in February, and it was 70 degrees and sunny. And the mountains are right there. And I thought I could live here. So.
Awesome. Were you born and raised in Chicago?
Yes, born and raised. Wife was too. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so born and raised in Chicago and picked up and just left, and on top of starting a new business, like brand new in real estate, didn't know what to do, and in a new city. Where you've never been before, and starting a family altogether. How was that like? And during the financial crisis, and may I add, how was that like on your mindset?
So sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
And sometimes that's good.
Sometimes that's good, yeah. So a blind idiot, in retrospect, like my whole family is trying to talk me out of it. They're telling me I'm nuts. So what happened? My first year, so as a mechanic in 2007, I made $120,000.
That's really great.
That's a lot of money back then. And my first year in real estate, without coaching or anything, I think I made $16,000.
And one whole year?
Yeah. Well, by the time you take the expenses out and everything, and didn't have a coach. And there was another young guy my age, I was 30 at the time, and we were competing, right? And I don't like to lose. And so he was talking about joining Mike Ferry, and I thought I better join before him because if he joins, he's going to outproduce me.
There you go. Nice.
So I think maybe a year or two later in the business, I joined Mike Ferry. That's when everything kind of took off.
That's amazing. So first year selling homes, $16,000 earned. I hope you had some savings going to Boulder and starting a family. That must have been scary, no?
Yeah. So the first year my wife was still working. That's when she got pregnant. So the next year I made like 70,000, which is you can live on that. We're ramen, no cable TV. You know,
Right.
our rent was $1,300 a month. You know, no car payments, and things have gotten better, John. Things have
Things
gotten
have
better.
gotten a lot better.
Right.
So I would say, Dave, you are one of the few agents that I've ever met that learns very quickly in their craft,
Hmm.
sales scripts, and implements really, really well, and shares it all the time.
Hmm.
Back when we were role playing, I would say that you're the best sharer of information, and that sharing had also given you back a lot of positive energy and therefore a lot of business in return. Talk a little bit about, first of all, learning,
Yeah.
script and dialogues.
So, you know, the learning was great because we were all kind of in the same boat. We really didn't know any better. Um, and we used to practice every single day of the week before we prospected. And it was nice to have that community, that support, because it wasn't easy getting started. And there were maybe like 5 or 10 of us, and we'd all, we'd get a cassette tape from somebody that was really good, and we'd all share it with each other.
I
And
remember that cassette tape. Wow.
yeah, yeah, it was fun times. And I think, going into back into business, like with the sharing and stuff, one of the things that I think makes an agent successful is the genuine, wanting to help out people in the community. And so when you're working with a client and you're genuinely wanting to help them versus looking for a commission check or commission breath, I think that's what drives success.
Yeah, so really the abundance mindset is what drives the success in serving others without any ulterior motive, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's how you build your business. But beyond that, I think you're really good with your COI mailouts. And that is
Hmm.
so old school that not many people do anymore. And I get mailers from you every quarter still with a business card, guys. And I know this guy. We talk every single week and he still sends me stuff. Tell us a little bit about that and how has that improved your business over the years?
It's hard to get stuff to you in Canada, John. For a couple of years, it kept coming back because I didn't have enough postage on it. Um, yeah, so I've always liked like the quarterly newsletter. So every quarter I send something out to everybody in my database, agents out of state, and then friends, family, and past clients. And then the people who are here locally, I send them some sort of a just sold, like some sort of a just sold or just listed postcard once a month.
Oh.
And it's hard to quantify because I don't ask people why they decided to call me. But
Mm-hmm.
every time I send something out, I just feel like something comes back in. I
Hmm.
get a couple calls, 2, 3 calls randomly. And so, you know, people ask like, well, you spent this much on mailing, how much money you got out of it? I don't know, but I know that when I send them out, the phone rings.
When I send them out, the phone rings. I think that's more of a transference of energy type of thing. You do something, you're gonna get something back, right?
Yep.
But I want to say that mail outs, they do work, guys. But how long have you been sending it for you to get consistent callbacks?
Yeah, it's like 15 years. 15 years. So,
15 years
yeah,
and never stopped.
never stop. So to give you an idea, I've got about maybe like 600 people in my database, and I get about a 10% return on that, and I don't call anybody, John.
Don't tell Mike.
I
He
know,
doesn't
right?
tell anybody anymore.
Yeah, but it's just staying in front of them and giving them valuable information.
Giving valuable information. Every time I receive from Dave this market update, it's 4 pages of paper and with a business card. It's a very nice touch. And I get a Christmas card from Dave as well every single year. And I'm here in Canada, right? So guys, but it's a long-term investment for you to be where you are today. It's a 15-year investment into mailouts, guys. That's once a quarter, correct? And
Once a
monthly
quarter.
for just what's just sold locally.
Yes. Yep. 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 And the local people, it's maybe 100, let's maybe 200 people. But that's more automated. The quarterly ones, I put a little bit more effort into it. So I put together a bullet points of what I want to write. I've got a really good writer on my team, so she writes it. She helps me write it.
Okay.
But you could go to Fiverr. You could have somebody on Fiverr do it. And then I, it's gonna sound crazy. I handwrite the addresses, and I use a regular
You
stamp.
do.
Not anymore. Not
Okay,
anymore.
okay. You used to.
I used to. I've got, yeah. But I think the guy that taught me to do that, he believed that when you're writing the letters, that you're thinking about the person, and that creates the energy that comes back. So there's some
Ooh.
sort of like, I don't know how to describe it. It works, John. It works.
It works. I learned this word the other day, guys. Heuristic. A
Heuristic.
heuristic is something that we know works, but I can't prove to you unless you try it yourself, right? And that right there is energy transference, and it
Hmm.
comes back. So if you write a thank you card and you're thinking about that person, and you're handwriting their address thinking about that person, that it will come back. The energy that you put out, you will get back, right? So how much is your business is would you say attraction versus prospecting these days?
Oh man, I haven't prospected. I don't know. Honest is, I haven't prospected in like 3 years, John. And
Three
last
years.
and last year we did 80 deals, about a million GCI.
A million GCI 80 deals and the guy doesn't even prospect,
Yeah,
right? But okay, and
but
rewind back to
yeah,
the starting days though, because that
yes.
seems like impossible for a lot of people, but he earned it. But how did you get to where you are? I'm sure it's not calling people. When you first
No,
started in your first 5 years, tell us about that.
yeah. So it started out. It was a tough market. I didn't know anybody. I had no experience, and I tried FISBOs and got kicked in the teeth. And then I called. Oh, and then I did expireds, right? Um,
Right.
and I
Yes.
tried dropping off packages because I actually don't mind going to people's doors.
Hmm.
So I tried dropping off packages. I got a couple expireds, and then from those expireds, I did a letter to the neighborhood announcing
Hmm.
my success. I got a
Mm-hmm.
couple listings out of that,
Mm-hmm.
and then I thought maybe this is my thing. I got a little track record now. I sold two houses, and I started calling expireds, and
Hmm.
so that's how I built my business is calling expireds. And I just
Wow.
got really good. I'm really good at that one script.
Ah. So
So yeah.
let's hear that script. It's a little bit different from the Mike Ferry script. The way you start, it's a little bit different. How would you approach the first call with an expired listing?
Well, you see, John, it's been about 3 years, but I can dust off the cobwebs. So, so I took the Mike Ferry script, I softened it up a little bit, so I
Okay.
don't make it as confrontational.
Mm.
And this is Dave with Coldwell Real Estate.
Mm-hmm.
I was calling about the house on 123 Primrose Lane. I saw
Mm-hmm.
it had come off the market. Pause. Uh, when are you interviewing agents for the job of getting it sold?
That's it.
That's it. And it opens up the conversation. So they either tell you to F off or they tell you how bad the last agent was.
Mm. So you guys, the difference there is when you planning to interview agents for the job of getting the home sold.
Yeah,
And the pauses are really great. And you leave out the word right agent.
yes. And
Sometimes that can
actually,
piss people off. I understand.
uh, now that, as soon as I said it, I realized I did say right agent when I was calling.
Oh, you did?
I did, yes, yes.
And
So,
how did that work?
yeah, it worked fine. I mean, it's just like
Okay.
so if they were interested, they would typically laugh. Like,
Ah, okay.
like they thought it was funny. And then like, yeah, my home is all. So the next question I would ask is, um, what do you think stopped your home from selling? Even if they got mad. And I would just ask you with genuine curiosity, just curious, I saw your home was on the market for a while. It's a great neighborhood. What do you think stopped it from selling?
What do you think stopped it from selling?
I'm really interested. And that question, people cannot resist answering it, no matter how mad they are.
No matter how mad they are, guys. But here's the thing: the difference is Dave delivers it with genuine curiosity, not just interrogation. What do you think stopped your home from selling?
Yeah, that's
what do you think, it's versus what do you think stopped your home from selling?
Yeah.
Genuine curiosity.
And they just cannot resist telling you exactly why.
Exactly why.
Yeah. And then it opens it up.
Mad.
Yeah, even if they're mad. And then
That's
they're talking,
amazing.
and you just say, okay, well, so we'll either go on to how'd you pick the last agent, or, where were we planning to move?
That's it. It's so simple, guys, and it's just the way you say it. So coming back to now $1 million GCI without even calling people, but you do have to have those mail outs. You do have to have the budget. So there's 3 ways to earn business. Number 1 is to wait for it. Number 2 is to buy it. Number 3 is to go out there and earn it. Dave earned it by going to expired listings and selling it and telling everybody in the neighborhood that he did it. And that's how he built your business. It's as simple as that, isn't it, Dave?
It is that simple. It is really that simple.
So now I want to transition because you made a big move and a big paradigm shift in your business and your being a businessman now. In 2019, you decided, I want to be a builder.
Yes.
How is that switch? That's huge.
It always went back to in 2008. That's really what I wanted to be. I got into real estate, and then the money's like so good. I mean, it's like you can make a great living, support your family. And what happened is I mapped out my retirement. 7 years from now, I can save up, I can pay off these properties and retire. And my coach asked me, okay, so at 7 years, you're 45 years old. Now what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I'd build houses. And she's like, okay, great. Let's map it out. Let's get you there. And then I think to myself, like, why do I have to wait 7 years to do this? Why don't I just start building houses? And that's when I got connected with Thatch. And I recall you and I talked a lot of time about it because this is when you were doing EXP.
Right.
And so we had the same problem. We were selling real estate. We were looking to make a big business change. And we both went different directions, and we both did very well.
Yes, I think what you did was a little bit scarier than what I did. And I'll say this again. I believe that we should have done both. We both should have done both.
We both should have done both. Yeah.
But tell us about that mindset, though, because it is scary, and you have to have skin in the game. You have to have a chunk of money, don't you, in starting to be a builder?
I had no money, John. I had no money.
What?
Yeah. So, yes, I didn't have any money. Well, I was a realtor, so I bought the fancy cars. It really had really nice suits. I had a nice house, went on nice vacations, but I was broke.
Oh, man. If you can't relate to that, you are not a realtor. So you started with no money, and how did you build your first house with no money?
So everybody always told me if you find a good deal, the money will come. So I just started prospecting, and I found a really good deal. And it was a probably $700,000 house, maybe $650,000, and I got it under contract for $450,000. And in 12 years of selling real estate, at that time, people always told me, if you find a good deal, call me. And so I called my parents, and they probably remembered the Dave from high school that got into trouble all the time.
Yeah.
And then I called my wife's parents, who was also saying, if I anything, call me. I called him, and no. And then And then, and then I called my brother-in-law, who same deal. He works for Google. No. And then I called my lender, who like I've been doing business with for 10 years. And he's like, hell yeah, let's fucking do it.
Wow.
So we split it 50-50. I did the work. He put the money up. And then I started to have money to do more projects.
Oh
And the
my
confidence.
goodness. OPM, guys. Other people's money. Call your mom and dad.
No,
Next,
I was
in-law. And
Don't
third,
call
call
your
your
family.
brother-in-law. Just kidding.
Don't call your family. Skip the family part.
Skip the family part. Go straight to your lender.
Yeah.
So the fourth person, Dave asked, he got the money. They went 50-50. So you knocked down the house, and then you built a new house and you sold it, or was that a reno job?
There was a gut rent a job. And then I had enough money, so I did a flip on my own. And then I did a new build with him. So we took the money out and we did a new build. He's been rolling the money with me. So right now I've got two projects with him. I've got a $3 million project and a $7 million project with him.
Wow.
So.
Okay. $700,000 to start, buys it at $450. Now he's doing $3 million and $7 million projects. Guys, your life can go from 0 to 100 really fast. Be patient. Keep with it. Dave, but let me ask you this, and I think a lot of people will be asking the same thing. How did you find that deal for $700,000 and get it under contract with $450?
That is another, what was that word you used, John? The heuristic?
Heuristic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to one of Thatch's events. I think you may have gone with me, and I think Sophia Pham, and we went to one of his events. We're doing the meditation. I think the Abraham Hicks.
Yep.
Doing that meditation. Literally 10 minutes later, my phone rings, and the guy had 3 properties that he needed to sell in a state. It was a past client. I mean, who cares where it comes from? Now, in the past, I would have simply just listed the properties. In fact, I probably would have helped them fix them up and clean them out to sell them.
Yeah.
But my mindset at the time was, I'm trying to find a fixer.
A deal.
Yeah. And there it is. I don't know.
So this is what we call a powerful manifester. If you don't believe it, it just works. We can't explain it. It's like the law of gravity. You jump off a building, you're going to fall and die. Yeah. Right? It's the same thing. If you use the law of attraction, it's going to work. But the thing is, if you're attached to the outcome, you will push it away.
Yeah.
Right? So
there's 2 things that I think are very key in that I had trouble with. One is when it comes, it's so unbelievable that you don't accept it. Like, I don't like my original mindset. I don't deserve this, right?
Who says that all the time? I think most people say, I'm no good for this. Well, I don't deserve this.
Yeah, I haven't worked hard enough. So you have to switch your mindset to when you manifest something and it comes, you have to accept it. Right? You get an opportunity with EXP and it comes, you accept it.
Accept it. It's not too good to be true, and be grateful for the opportunity that's presented in front of you.
Yep.
But why do people say, even when the good opportunity is right in front of them sometimes, Dave, they say no? Why is that?
I think that's just that's where you work on yourself. I think it's really you don't. For me, it's one of 2 things. One, I used to think you have to work hard to make a lot of money, so I didn't work hard enough because the guy just called me.
Yes.
Right. I didn't pound the phone for 3 weeks to get it, so it was too easy. Or I don't deserve it because I don't have enough knowledge. I don't who knows?
So how do you call bullshit with yourself, that little voice in your mind? How do you call him bullshit?
I got a funny story about that. So when I started in real estate, maybe 2010 or 11, I started doing affirmations. And I wrote down this affirmation, and he said, write down a number that you don't even, just on the edge of what you think is possible. And I thought, geez, I don't think I'll ever, like 250 grand a year, like that seems impossible to me. And so I wrote it out 30 times a day for a year. I made 250 grand that year from, I don't know, like 100. But I wrote it out so many times that I was stuck at that number for like 3 years.
It almost worked against you in the next couple of years.
Yeah, but I don't know what the answer is to that. Write it out for 6 months maybe, but yeah, yes.
So 30
Affirmations
a day
work.
for like 6 months, and guys, again, that is something that you just need to try for yourself to see if it works. It's a heuristic. We can't explain how it happens. Well, actually, we can explain it by the reticular activating system. When you think about something so much, your subconscious mind tends to focus on that, and then opportunities will come based on what you're thinking about. So what you focus on expands. We can explain it by that, but not many people believe it.
Nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. But I used to really enjoy sitting down in the morning with my cup of coffee and writing it out. It took 10 minutes. I think we all used to share them. We used to take pictures and share them.
Yes.
Do you remember what yours was, John?
I also wrote $250,000, Dave, and I was also stuck at $250,000 for 3 years with you.
Yeah. Brutal.
I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the opportunity, grateful for the experience, and then we started writing $1 million.
Yeah, we started writing $1 million, which seemed impossible.
Seemed impossible, guys. And
Yeah.
what's impossible is possible today because you did the work and believe in yourself. Work on yourself as well. Dave, I got two questions for you.
Yeah.
You know, with all that we're talking about, we're doing phenomenal business. You know, in the next little while, what do you see will happen to the real estate industry?
You mean sales volume, like
Yeah.
transactions,
What do you
or
think? Market.
agents? The market.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I actually feel like we are at a plateau. At least in my market, I'm looking at the numbers. I feel like it's the same market 2015, 2019. There's little ups, little downs. But that's where I see transaction volume. Mike Ferry talked a lot about, even in 2000. Okay, so the average number of sales in the U.S. every year is around 5.5 million.
Right.
Okay, that means there's 11 million sales, buyer and seller.
Oh, two sides. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
correct.
okay. So in 2008, the lowest we got was 4.7. So it wasn't even that many less sales.
No.
And then the last couple of years were 6.5 million.
Ooh.
So I think we're just going back to that 5.5, 6. Like that's a normal market.
Yeah, just going back to the normal market, I think going back to the basics. And for people who haven't built their databases like Dave has, it's back to the basics. Talk to your for sale by owners, talk to your expired listings to build your business. But if you're 10 years in and you're still doing that, you're probably not working on your database enough or mailing out enough. All right, Dave, this has been great. But one last insight for the audience. If you were to have the audience, mostly new realtors,
Yeah.
what would you say to them one thing to have them be successful in 2023?
One thing, be successful. I think you just got to find a niche that you're good at and just stick with it. I mean, you just keep plugging away. I've seen people who are so goofy, you're never going to think you're going to make it, and make $2-3 million. But they find that one thing or one type of client that they're really good at working with, and they just hammer them.
Hammer your niche. Pick a niche and hammer it. Let's just do it, guys. All right. Mindset March. Let's go get it. Dave, thank you so much, and it's great catching up. I guess I'll see you in an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'll see you in a little bit.
Cheers.